I think I'm being watched. Houses in Toronto are in a league of their own, and I'm not just talking about the wild prices some of them are going for. These are some of Toronto's most unusual houses. First up is actually a fake house, a building meant to look like your typical home, but is actually nothing like one. In the 1940s, the city began to see buildings intended to look like real houses being built by Toronto Hydro. Now, these buildings are actually municipal transformer stations. The first indication of this you can see if you look at the door, there's a danger sign on it because of the high voltage equipment housed within, as well as one of those card reader door locks. And also if you head towards the driveway, you can see that it's blocked off to prevent anybody parking there. And if you look back towards the backyard, it's also blocked off, and the side entrance has one of those card reader door locks as well. Now, to get an indication this is actually a Toronto Hydro building, you can also look at the padlock on the chain blocking off the driveway, where it says Toronto Hydro Electric System. And this isn't the only house like this in the city. There's actually about 90 of these Toronto Hydro substations that are spread throughout Toronto, hidden in plain sight. The next house, while it is a real house, is only half of one. Located north of Queen Street on St. Patrick Street is what's known as the Half House, and you can clearly see why. It was actually part of 6 connected homes when it was built back in the late 19th century. Now, if you were to take a look at the connected building, you can clearly see the address is 54, which actually makes this 54 and a half. Now, as the properties here were sold and torn down one by one, the owner refused to sell, resulting in the unique structure you see today. This next house is not a half a house, nor is it a fake house. It is just a very unusually decorated house. Located at 473 Clinton Street, this house has definitely made a name for itself in Toronto for being one of the most unusual. You've got your pink rubber chickens, of course, as well as tons of shells adorning the side. And if we head over to the entryway, you have some mini hockey sticks, you've got a decorated birdhouse, and my personal favorite, Godzilla wearing a seashell as a sun hat. I don't know about you, but this has got to be the most stylish Godzilla I've ever seen. Then you've got this random head with glasses, a boot, some beer cans with golf balls, a ton of corks, and the decorations extend onto the house itself as well. There's also a sign saying, "Enjoy the little things." And well, there's definitely no shortage of little things to enjoy. And of course, there's a matching vehicle to go along with the house. Next up is what's known as the Cube House. This structure, which was built in 1996, is actually modeled after similar looking buildings in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, a series of cube-shaped apartments angled at 45 degrees, which were designed in the late 70s by Dutch architect Piet Blom. Now, the Toronto copy is located at 1 Sumac Street, and while there are a number of windows, I don't think the view is probably the best in the city. While the Cube House is not quite the tourist attraction as its Netherlands counterpart, it has become a staple of Toronto. But a redevelopment plan for the area could see the building relocated. Next up is one of the most well-known oddities in the city. It's the Leslieville Dollhouse. This home is located at 35 Burtmount Avenue, and the owner has been collecting for a few decades. While dolls do feature prominently here, there are all sorts of other assorted items too. There's even a blockbuster frisbee, just to give you a rough idea of how long they've been collecting for. There's also a sign indicating the presence of a camera, but that is most definitely not the only thing watching you. There's also a note here from the City of Toronto, congratulating the owner for their front garden as being one of the loveliest in the city. And it's signed by Barbara Hall, who was mayor in Toronto in the mid-90s. From the Leslieville Dollhouse to something more akin to the size of an actual dollhouse. It's Toronto's Little House. At only about 7 feet across, the 300 square foot home was built in the early 20th century, and its notability was further solidified after being featured some years ago on The Ellen Show.
I can't believe that this little house got Ellen DeGeneres to call me.
Yeah, that's what houses do.
If you think there's another house that should be added to this list, let us know in the comments. For Narcity, I'm Lance McMillan. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this.